Hey everybody, welcome back to Age of Bison. Platypus Slayer here, and I am going to be casting a very competitive series here in our upper brackets. This is one of the quarterfinals, this is game two. Uh, for those of you that have hopefully watched game one, you'll know, without spoiling too much, that Danny and Lewis, they come out swinging and they have a very commanding game one. So, these are both players. The winner will go to the quarterfinals, and I'm expecting another extremely competitive match. And I'm joined here today by my eternal partner in crime, Pete, also known as Pistol Pete. How's it going?
Yeah, great to be here. Excited to watch this match. A lot of vanilla civs, which is great for me because I know more about those than some of the DE content. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I'm going to start now. So over here on the left, immediately taking the wood treasure is George the Store Clerk representing Madonna. Um, and over here, Vlad the Impaler, Russia for carry. Up here in the top right corner, playing as Germany, we've got Danny 2023. And up here in the top left corner for the mirror is Luis Baquero playing as the Brits. And Pete, you have played all of these civs with me at least once, and we've played this map a lot. And I'm kind of curious, what are your initial thoughts on how this map and these civs are going to pair up against each other?
Yeah, it's an interesting map. So there's a couple of choke points through the middle. A very desirable piece of real estate is where you have the screen right now in the middle. Uh, It's going to be interesting to see how each team approaches it. My kind of guess, but I mean, players have their own ideas, is that Brits and Russia, being H2 civs, are going to try to take command of the center of the board there, like in chess, build a blockhouse and see if they can exert some pressure on the town centers, which are a reasonable amount of distance between them, which is good for being to put early pressure on because you can change your point of attack. Um, on the other angle, Brits and Germans. Germans probably want to try to get their way up to H3 quickly, but in a team game, Danny can certainly get a lot of cav out, and maybe their strategy is just going to be to kind of hold their ground and let Danny get around on the wings there to do some cav raiding to kind of keep their ecos down and win the game that way. So we'll see what happens.
Agreed. So decks are coming in. For Madonna, he's going 2v2 water tourney. Having played with and versus Madonna many times, he is a backdoor docker, without a shadow of a doubt. So we may see a British water play. Going over to Carey, playing as Russia, water defense. So it looks like he's also looking to have some capacity to go water, while at the same time mainly focusing on land and the Strelets. And then over
Yeah,
here for Los Mofokis, for Germany, Cav, standard, no water here. Looks like it's all land focused, but a pretty solid deck. And for Luis Bacaro, Team Rush, also not going for water, but looks like Grenadier possibly focused and Cav. Or sorry, Musk.
yeah, that's a good point. With the water decks, there are two coasts here of fish that I didn't mention in kind of my map overview. So uh, Madonna has been known to get his docks up and also create some sneaky docks on the opposing coast. So you could be fishing from both sides. So it'll be interesting to see what approach both of these guys take.
Exactly. So looks like everyone now settling, getting ready to age up. You've got the Naturalist, which I believe is the two cows, and no. The Naturalist for is that the 500 food for the British, or is that the cow one?
Naturalist is going to be two cows, two settlers.
Okay. Quartermaster for Russia, kind of a classic. Aging up with the Governor now for Madonna, and it looks like we've already got Vils coming forward for both Russia and for Brits. So for Team Celebrities, Madonna Carey, they are definitely going. It looks like they will be scouted.
Yeah, they're going for that middle part of the board, not terribly unexpected. It's got a nice trading post that they can secure at some point and really creates a barrier to their bases while giving them an opportunity to exert some forward pressure on both of those split town centers. They'll want to keep this game in H2 as long as they can.
Right. Is it just me or okay? That's That is aggressive. Holy crap. Uh, I'm kind of speechless here at the moment. Carey going for an extraordinarily like deep blockhouse, right? I don't know, Pete. What are your thoughts about trying to put the forward base like all the way back here in the pocket?
You know what? It's a bold move, and I have to give it to Team Madonna there and Carrie. That I would have never thought about this, but I've had this happen on another kind of legacy map. I think it was Borneo, where your team town centers start far apart and India dropped an agger right in the middle. And I'll tell you, it's something that's a nightmare to deal with because you and your ally have your military bases in base, and it's really difficult to combine and sync your units to get together. So this is I've never seen this done on this map before. I'm really excited to see how this plays out. How would if you saw this plat, how do you think you would respond with where your forward basement placement or your
I think
defensive basement would be placed?
if I was Germany, I'd be probably putting some walls down. Yeah, because you know that the Cossacks are coming down. Looking at let's see here, Germany shipments. Yeah, he's going for the Ulans immediately. Those will beat the Cossacks pretty handedly. But you're going to want to racks out because you're going to be under pressure. And yeah, being split like this is just an absolute nightmare because now, like you said, it's almost like a mini Agra. You've got the blockhouse. Ooh, he walks the outpost all the way around. If that does get caught, that could really dampen
Yeah,
the
if
impact.
he drops it right where it is, he can really create some problems just for the yeah, right there where everybody's going to get around to place it. I don't know if he'll be able to get it up here, but no matter what point that Danny and Luis approach it, they're going to be getting sniped by blockhouses or
Mm,
outposts here. So it's going to be interesting.
yeah, extra damage there. Cossacks charging into the first batch of Musk there for Brits. And like I said, this is deadly because now you've got essentially a 2v1 going on. He does catch some Ruskets with the first batch of Ulans, which of course will clean them up. But now the 4 Cossack shipment coming in for carry, and I mean, Brits are going to get idled pretty hard here. Although, again, these Cossacks kind of squishy. Town center fire, not enough Vills. So he's got 4 Vills, so he's not idled too badly. 16 Vills, 19 Vills, and 25 Vills for Brits. So, they just need to hold, even though this is incredible amount of pressure. Ooh, Yulan's getting
Yeah,
caught.
yeah, I think they're doing a nice job here. It's going to be more straightforward for carry to get or for yellow to get over to defend purple, but when it goes to the reverse and when the British infantry comes over to try to support Germany, Germany's going to be under quite a little bit of pressure. So I think that's going to be the key. It's really tough to respond to when you see such a bizarre forward basement placement like that, but I was thinking, it's tough to think on your feet. I was almost thinking that the way Germany and Brit should have responded was by building their forward base kind of where Madonna dropped his outpost,
Hmm.
because then at least you can keep your units together. And it's really strange kind of building your defensive base behind or ahead of their forward base, but I think it would have been easier for them to keep their units together.
I think so. And I mean,
Ac-
so far, the scores are not too far behind. Like I said, Madonna definitely doing a league. It looks like Germany, Germany's a civic, especially in age two. It's very vulnerable to this kind of extended pressure, right? Because now he does have the right setup. I believe he's got both of these settler wagon, shipments to recover from this. But, his economy's really hurting. He's not, he's only got what 14 plus settler wagons, but not that much of an economy behind this. This is tough. Yep.
Yeah, and it's just a really long walk for purple to get over to be able to help him out. They're in a tight spot here.
Something I did like though that Danny did was he immediately took a lot of his settler wagons out of the TC just because even though they count as 2 villager pop, for the purpose of like a lot of economic upgrades. Well, now he's about to pop them into some chip. Oh, no good. They only count as 1 for the TC fire, so you often end up losing so much economy being idle as Germany that it's not even worth sitting in your town center.
Yeah, makes sense. That's a good point.
He does have a
Yeah.
market, floating food. He might need to do some rebalancing, but he's under so much pressure right now. I mean, this is just tough when you've got this many musketeers in front of your base and you're a civ without, your own musketeers and only crossbow.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on. So he's lost his military production building, so he's in a tight spot. You know, I mean, it'd almost be nice if he could just sell the food and like send some Irish brigadiers or something if he had it in the deck. I don't know if he does, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, that's rough.
Nope. Here comes the Vilpool. Now, one benefit I do think, of course, is that these settler wagons, sorry for moving around, there's a lot of economy. They are pretty tough. Oh no.
And there's a raid going on in the base as well, so let's pay attention to that.
Okay, Yulons are on that, but then look, he's losing.
No, the settler wagons have a lot of HP, so he may only lose two of those, and I think he's delivering the counter blow in his base right there.
So
So he
he's
might
down
be
to
okay.
12, but Russia.
I think Germany's coming out better on the better end of that.
Right, loses
He
like.
may have lost 2 to 3 settler wagons, but I'm sure that there's at least 7 bills that went down there. It's tough to know. We're jumping back and forth, but that was really an excellent counter press by Danny to kind of make sure that to keep the trades even.
You know, he keeps most of his Yulon mass alive too, and now, you know, I mean, Brit's exposed here too. He could really do some damage to both players. Brit, though, gonna lose its. Okay, he's got a stable out now.
Yeah, I think it would be really nice for Madonna or Carry to drop a stable in base so that they can start kind of trying to patrol these cav raids. Look, he's coming in again and he's going to pop a couple more vills.
Yeah, good
So
placement too.
you have to say that even though he lost 3 settler wagons, he's kept the ledger even or maybe even more in terms of hurting their his opponent's eco with the amount of
What?
raids that he's been able to deliver on the other end.
Exactly. Fortunately, he does do the settler wagon. It looks like a 3 shipment, and he's gonna try to run him away, which is again a good job. I would say the weakness, yeah, of this army is it's all infantry, which is gonna slow down their ability to dictate the pace of the game. Adada now saying, hey, check your villagers, but I mean Lewis has so many villagers, he might be able to
There's
2v1 them soon.
There's some more raids going on as well, or Germany may be popping up, but take a look at what's going on over there. Yeah, he's just, I haven't been able to keep track of how many bills he's been able to get down, but, you know, he's one of the things that kind of me being a Cav player, when you lose a lot of your eco and a lot of your macro things to do, and you only have a couple hunts, basically you can put so much attention on being kind of perfect with kind of your maximizing the efficiency of what you're doing with your cav. So I think you're kind of seeing the effects of that. He's lost his base, so all he has to do is basically micro 5 Wuhans around, and he's just been able to go full effect to damage on his opponents. He's probably able to kind of look in the map, look and see what dead hunts are there. So putting his Wuhans right where it hurts. Look, he's just finding all these vills hanging around.
And this is perfect. I mean, this is exactly I think what you do in this position, right? If you are Danny, right, is you're battling it out. That being said, they do get the outpost now, right? So Madonna's gonna have to ship all this stuff, but I mean, he's Lewis is caught up despite being under all that pressure. Madonna now losing more villagers. This is just fantastic, I think, for uh, Danny and Lewis. But at the same time, I just think that the damage and the tempo now is going to go against them. But then, as I say that, Carey throwing away a bunch of his units into Hussar.
Well, I was about to. I think there's right now a lot of pressure on Lewis to be able to 2v1 here for a bit, and as long as he's able to kind of keep the unit masses alive, I think he should actually be able to do pretty reasonably well, because Madonna and Carey are going to have to constantly go back and tend to their base to watch these Wuhan raids, whereas you know, Lewis should more or less be able to keep his eyes completely on the battle and have a better micro, I think.
Exactly.
That being said, he's going to be handling 2 armies and he still has to manage his eco, so it's easier said than done.
Exactly. You know, some walls probably would have been useful, like right here and right here, just to kind of buy yourself some time. But I mean, the economy of let's see here, Carey's at 24 vil, 37 of Madonna, 50 villagers. But look, something that I think Carey does that's really smart. I just realized is he's now in water, so he is going to be able to replenish those losses pretty fast.
Yeah, that's smart play. Raid eco that can't get raided.
Hmm. Yeah, now
I
he's
think I need
stacking food.
I,
Oh.
And I think I've been referring to Carrie as the German player, but it's really been Danny. I don't know if I did that in the past, but sorry, correct that.
Yeah, I think you've been pretty accurate so far. So yeah, now Britt has a pretty massive force, but he's lost his TC. That is going to slow him down. And I mean, the score is definitely in the favor of Madonna and Carey, but I'm starting to think that they're starting to get ground out, right? Because again, Russia's going to start replenishing its losses. Its TC does make villagers faster. Only just now is he able to get a town center back up for Danny, and it's for Germany. And I mean, look at this musket mass, and these are Brit Musk, right? So see how many cards Madonna sent now. Yeah. So these are almost veteran musketeers, an age up. Ooh, good raid though. God, yeah. Now he's using his Hussar, Lewis, um, as the Brit player to leverage now against these civs. And man, I just really impressive cavalry play from these guys this game.
Yeah, it's been keeping them in it because that forward basement placement by Madonna and Carey was really quite excellent. Really put them on the back foot, so they've been fighting to stay in it.
Mm-hmm. This it
This
might
is
be
going to be a
close,
problem.
yeah, because this is huge. I don't think they can stop this with just a few longbow. Good raids, yes, but kind of need everything you have for this.
Yeah, at some point you need to start getting some boots on the ground in terms of infantry to be able to prevent all your infrastructure to get ripped out. The bill rating will keep you in it, but at some point you need to be able to beat them on the ground.
Mm. Well, and just the scaling of all these. I mean, Germany in particular, like we said, it's not really left with a lot of fantastic options right now. Ulans are good, but and yeah, I mean these Cav, they're gonna take the TC maybe, but Germany's gonna lose its whole forward base again, and that's just all this resources being sent to rebuilding and rebuilding. I think for Los Mofokis is just grinding them out because Madonna and Carrie they just don't have to rebuild stuff. And there's the dock from Madonna on your pond per usual.
Yeah, yeah. I think Danny and Lewis are going to be in a real tough spot here, and I think kind of if there's anything that's going to tip the scale, it's just that Carey. Even though he's lost a lot of bills, he's finding a way to boom back into it on water. I don't think that's as straightforward for Germany to do here, so they're going to have to pull off a pretty big trade or Houdini act here to kind of figure out a way to get back on top.
Oh, and it looks like
There it
they're
is.
calling it now. GG called. Yeah, look, I mean, Danny's score is just cratered. He's basically completely out of gas. Looks like they play on for just a few more, maybe, because sometimes you call it GG, but your allies doing good. Like, yeah, look at Lewis. Oh, look at all that res he's floating.
Yeah, he needs to sell some stuff, something I'm guilty of, my very fair share.
And just like that, man, that was actually just an absolute intense game there. I mean, they had the entire game back and forth. It started with just one hell of a gutsy forward base here, and like you said, they were able to split. They were able to kind of keep both these guys off foot, and I think Danny and Lewis played excellent. But at the same time, the initiative was lost, and like you said at the beginning, Germany doesn't want to sit in H2 for very long, and they got forced into it. And it didn't really have very good answers. So even though Lewis was able to boom a bit and 2v1 for a good while, just he couldn't do it forever, and he was ground out. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the forward basement placement won it, and it's kind of one of the tough things about AoE 3. Just sometimes a game can be decided in moments, and kind of, I don't know, maybe the best response, honestly, from Danny and Lewis would have been maybe to build their defensive base there kind of in the middle so that they could at least keep their armies together. But it's just kind of one of those things you both have to be coordinated, you have to scout it, and you both have to kind of like agree to it on the fly at the same time. So yeah, that brilliant campaign strategy, so to speak, from Madonna and Carey, and Danny and Lewis really did quite well to stay in it, but it kind of eventually, I think, just kind of the ground infantry was able to take out too much infrastructure and took the game.
I agree. So looking here at the post game resources, I mean, yeah, if you think about it, like really not that far apart considering how much pressure Danny was under that whole game. Lewis doing quite the kind of classic Brit manner boom. Looking at the military units, I mean, this was not a bad kill death ratio really for anybody involved, other than the fact that Russian units are kind of cheap. And yeah, oh sorry, 90 to 45. But if you look at all the buildings, I mean, everything critical for Germany was raised, and they had to rebuild over and over. Expensive buildings like town centers.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good kill death ratio for Russia. Being a Russia player myself, you can win a lot of games with a 1 to 2 kind of ratio. That's not in your favor, but if you're keeping it at 1 to 1, usually your units are a lot cheaper.
Mhm.
60 to 70%.
And, and
As expensive as your opponents.
and this is the power of water. I mean, if you look at Kerry, right, like he's hit just as hard, and for a while there, I mean, the economic advantage probably yeah would have been in the favor there of Team Danny, Los Motofoki's. And both of them kind of raiding each other. Yeah, he lost some settler wagons, but they were able to kind of really harm Carey and keep him down. But once he was able to go in water, he's able to boom right back into the game. And then, Madonna was hit hard, but, you know, Danny didn't have a town center forever. So looking at military unit population too as well. Yeah, I mean, Madonna, like you said, Madonna keeps his mass alive, and Lewis is just not able to. And so Russia's able to grind out. Germany is a civ that does not like to lose a lot of its, units like that, like say decisive fights, not long fights, is just ground out. And yeah, after the initial push, Madonna's team takes the advantage, and the celebrities as they go by showing why they are here in the semifinals. So any final thoughts or closing musings before we wrap this up, Pete?
No, well played all around. I think everybody responded well to kind of the problems that were put before him. Yeah, the only thought I think I have is in terms of changing the outcome of the game is perhaps Danny and Lewis should have just built their bases together, kind of behind Madonna and Carrie. But that's just me kind of speculating. Would welcome kind of the community's views in the comments here on like how to counter something like this because it's not something that you see often. Really, really great strat there by Madonna and Carrie.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you all if you've made it this far. Like I said, this is game two. We plan on casting the rest of the series here of the quarterfinals, and then whoever wins this series will go on into the semifinals, and then possibly a shot at our, I believe it is now $250 prize, which is split 125 for the winner of the tournament, and then 125 for the team with the best game. So also too, in the comments, please let us know if there's any personal favorites of your guys, whether it's this game or a different game, because we're going to be taking a look and trying to get the feedback from all of you, the viewers. So if you've made it this far, we appreciate all your time. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And we look forward to seeing you all on the next game at Age of Bison.